We talked with Pam and CK on Wednesday. That was a fun little discussion.
Those guys are so cool, man. I hope you guys are watching those videos. Those guys are cool as shit. I like talking to them.
Yeah, so I uploaded that today. You can watch our whole conversation that we had with Pam and CK. I wanted to connect with Pam and CK and talk about tonight's topic. So I recommend watching that video. It's like a 20-30 minute conversation, and it's pretty interesting. We talk about some interesting shit, and we talk about the G-Pen situation. And for them, it's completely like outside the scene. Like they don't know anything about the G-Pen reputation and the whole vape enthusiast market. Like they're not. I mean, they vape weed, but they're not like into it like we are.
But they found some good parallels though. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, it was a really cool conversation. It was a really cool conversation to have.
And yeah, we were kind of talking about this, where we're, we get our opinions, man. We get our biases, we get our prejudgments, and we hang on to them tightly. And it's part of that whole, I see everything in light of the ego now. I'm just like, oh yeah, of course. I have a little bit of ego about that, So, we all get wrapped up on what we think of a brand or something. And and
it becomes the tribe.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it becomes like this it becomes that mentality, so that it's not even an individual mentality anymore. It's not even yours almost. It's weird that way.
Right. It's like a shared thing, and it's like an expected match the consensus thing that happens. CK had some really cool ways of explaining it. I enjoyed learning from him. And
well, luckily we'd asked some of these other guys about this stuff before too, man. We got another clip with Pete about tribalism and stuff we can roll too, man. I'd like to show that off.
Yeah. Let's hear from Pete, because Pete has interesting things to say too.
Yeah. I've always respected your opinion. You're one of the few people that when I go to write a review, I'll make sure I've looked at whatever you put out first, if you have, because I don't want to miss something. And there's aren't many people out there, but you're one of the ones that I make sure I go check first, man. You do great work, bud.
Well, that's funny. I appreciate that, and it's funny. There's a loop going on because I kind of do the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just like if I'm going to review something, it's like, what did these guys say? Do they got any thing I missed or anything that I want to cover that I forgot about? Right? It's
Right.
It's good to know. I mean, you guys are both experts, right? So I mean, and not only that, I think there's a big difference between owning a lot of vapes and assessing a lot of vapes. You know what I'm saying? When you're really looking at them and considering this aspect, it's a little bit different than just having a monster collection. But you guys both have collections that dwarf mine anyways, so
there's a weird territory there though. Like when you have the perspective of hundreds and hundreds of vapes, little nuances and little subtle differences between experiences and vapor and all those things really start to differentiate, and then trying to convey those things to people that only have 2 or 3 vapes sometimes gets a weird, like almost like snobbery to it. And like I never want to embrace like oh, I've got 300 vapes. I never want to get to that weird snobbery.
Yeah. Well, I noticed too. There's like I don't think it's just vapes, but I certainly notice it in vapes as well as like tribalism. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I like this. You like this? No. That somehow challenges what I like. And it's just like people choose their teams and stuff like that. And it's just like, man, I'm not on a team. Like, you know what I mean? Like I like this, I like that, I like this, I like, or some devices, I like this about this one, I like this about that one, or I don't like this about that one, but you do notice that just this like, oh, you like the Vape Bong? Well, then that means you hate the hot rod or something. It's like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I like them both.
That's weird. And I get really discouraged by that type of society. And it's actually one of the reasons I kind of set up the 420 Vape Zone Discord, and we've been building the community in a more objective way where we avoid vape politics and we avoid that vape cult kind of tribalism.
That's what it is. It is. And it's You know, and I don't really know what it is. I just think that's the way that the world is just being geared towards, man. It's just this us and theming of every possible thing. You know what I mean? Like take sports rivalries from like 50 years ago and then just build that for 50 years kind of thing.
Oh yeah, Sneaky Pete.
Thanks, Pete, my man.
Sneaky Pete makes good content. I want to say he mentioned that he always references like our content. Same thing. It's a lovely little loop. Although I gotta say I always avoid his videos right before I'm making a video, because I always feel like when I watch his video, he's making the video that I would have made. Like I feel like, well, Sneaky Pete just did exactly what I was gonna do. So
That's funny, man.
that's what it always feels like when I watch his videos.
Yeah, he does great stuff, man. I love him. Love his work.
But yeah, the tribalism thing, I love it. I love that it brings people together and people can share their desires, passions, and preferences with others, because that makes a great relationship builder.
Yeah.
It brings people together. I've been seeing it in the Discord. People come together and, you know, they're building pinkies together, and they're tweaking their flower pots together and talking about the different Dynavap stems and tips, and it's really cool to see the different vape cultures intertwine and blossom.
Yeah, that's the good side of it. And and it's strong. It's strong. There's, you know, we got a strong community, and there's more than one. There's a lot of different pockets of the vape communities out there. But no, why are we talking about this, Troy? Why are we bringing this topic up at all, even? You know?
Because G-Pen has kind of a weird reputation in certain enthusiast circles, and it may be deserved to some degree. However, that harsh reputation is several years old at this point, and it comes from a different era of vaporizers and vape to consumer relationships. Even like the space has changed,
yeah,
significantly over and over again, and G-Pen has now made a device that's kind of okay. Like I kind of like it. Like not to the point where I'm going to carry it and it's going to replace my Mighty or anything. But if some other manufacturer sent me this and it didn't say G-Pen on it, I would be like, yo, check out this new $250 vape. That's pretty fucking good for a conduction heavy hybrid.
Right.
It's very enjoyable. But now it has the word G-Pen on it, and it's like, whoa, really? You know?
So, but that's deserved, and you mentioned that a little bit. Like let's talk about, so that people don't think we're forgetting about this stuff. You know, what are some of the gaffes these guys have done that you know, that turn off the enthusiasts? You know, from
that's a big thing. It turns off the enthusiasts, and we talked about it in the Pam and CK video. Enthusiasts have an expectation of our products to represent vaporizers. Like there a lot of vaporizers, vaporists in the enthusiast space are passionate about vapes. You know, and they only use vapes. They don't smoke. We talked about this last week. How so many vaporists don't smoke, and they almost like shun off smoking. They're proud. They're kind of proud of their commitment, and everybody should try a vape and get that experience. It's going down right now. Some YouTuber made a video saying dry herb vapes should be better, and he talks for 20 minutes about how every vape he's tried, while it's been enjoyable, and he's tried like the Volcano and a bunch of other relevant vapes, he still prefers smoking because you hit a bowl and it sets you back. Pretty true. Like a vape requires, you know, some commitment.
Yeah, we were smoking last week, and it definitely has a quick sit back kind of hit to you, you know. So I mean,
dude, we got fucked.
You know, yeah, dude, that was a fun night. So
we got a lot of shit on our agenda last week.
right?
We didn't get to do a lot of it.
Nah, but we did those. We nailed those two out of the park. The joint and the bong. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on smoking. It's not what I'm into, but it does fuck me up. And if I didn't have a vape, it's not like I wouldn't consume. I'd consume ever I had to. So I think it started with like some of those early herb pins that
Like the Snoop
more.
Dogg thing.
Yeah, the Snoop Dogg thing. I mean, Snoop Dogg puts his name on this thing that we know everybody's going to go, oh, cool, Snoop Vape, going to be good. And they think that's what vaping is. And then they got something that you and I would never use.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that thing stunk. So,
Because it was basically a combustion device, right?
yeah, I mean, basically had it on a coil down in there. And, you know, if you had it on low, it would vaporize for a little bit until it got hot enough to burn. And then because it was in direct contact. So, man, I remember being so upset that Snoop put his name on that. I was like, we're gonna have such a hard time combating that when that's what everybody's first vape is, and that's what they think vaporizing is. And what are they gonna think when I show up with something? You know, it's totally different. So that's really why these enthusiasts and wheeze enthusiasts get pissy or were pissy at companies that put out shitty vapes and then put a lot of money into them. Because then everybody out there will hear about it. It puts a name in their head. I talked to somebody just this week who was out at Spanibus, went into the head shops, and they said the only vape that they had a whole bunch of white labels, but there's a bunch of packs. Because everybody's heard of the packs and they come in insisting on the packs. And that's strictly because they had millions of dollars in marketing money back, you know, 9 years ago, whatever it was, and they just blew it out. They told people it was the best vape on the planet and they believed it. And people like Troy and I were pissed.
Well, it turns the tables against us in a way. Like when people have their first vape experience and it's something bad, something that they're not wanting the experience to be, it makes that person speak illy. Speaks that person is gonna talk shit about vaping to other people, and it happens a lot. Like when I go out and talk to other stoners and go to these sessions and say, hey, I'm a vape guy. You want to try some vapes? And they're like, oh no, man, I've tried. Like they all suck, you know. Like that's because vaping hasn't evolved, and we need to kind of fight this old reputation of vaping, and we want our vapes to be a better representation of modern day vapes. G-Pen didn't do that for the enthusiasts. The enthusiasts want more. And then G-Pen also got counterfeited a lot. So like since G-Pen was the brand with marketing, the people making counterfeit vapes and making all the vapes and pumping them out through all the head shops that buy imports, putting G-Pen label on it was easy. Like you see that G on so many brands now, like that it's a thing.
That'll fuck up a rep right there. Like I know that I've gotten, I remember I had a fake Magic Flight box here once and it sucked. Like I was like, that would make me hate this product and vaping. And so counterfeit products just fuck everybody. It doesn't matter what counterfeit it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, there was enough of that with them. They definitely suffered from that. But then even their other products, like even the Elite, you know, the Elite was not a bad product. It's just that initially they didn't do much with the mouthpiece, and then later on they did. And you know, that was a product that was good enough for the mass market, but not for people like me and the enthusiasts. It was like, they got to do more than that.
Yeah.
You're gonna put a bunch of money behind it.
It had bad tastes to it.
Yeah.
Like every time I tried the Elite, I would taste plastic and taste like the silicone. I'm not sure what they were using, but it tasted not safe to inhale, honestly.
Right.
Like I don't want to hit a vape and it tastes like I'm tasting the vape or burning the vape up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, I'm vaping because it's safer and less stinky than smoke. You know, it's been proven that it's safer than smoking. Like smoke has not so good things, and I want vapor. I want my vapor to be pure. I want to taste the terps and not the tech.
Speaking of taste, then they put out that fucking Connect.
That's another one. And the Connect is interesting because like you and I walked around Champs and talked to people, and I make a habit out of asking about the Connect. Like, hey, what do you think about the Connect? Because I'm always looking for the opinions of people so I can compare and contrast with my own. And I've learned that people who are dab snobs, like people who buy high quality quartz and bongs, they do not like the Connect.
Yeah.
But people who smoke and dab to dab,
Mm-hmm.
they like the Connect. In fact, there's a lot of people that love the Connect because it's easy. They just like charge it and just keep dabbing through it. And you're like, no banger to clean. That's what they say. Like, no banger to clean. But then
It tasted good.
yeah, you ask any dab snob to dab through the Connect, and like, it tastes like Reclaim. Every dab tastes like Reclaim because that's essentially what it is. The Reclaim just kind of goes down in the vapor path and just cooks and cooks and cooks.
Yeah. It's, again, they make stuff these days that's good enough for the mass market. Like, the mass market loves this shit. You know, like the Elite was good enough. The Connect is great because they look at the form factor and like all the benefits you said, and they don't really care about the taste so much. They just want to get fucked up. That'll do it for you. And so it's a cool product that does some shit, but that's the problem is they don't quite hit the bar for us there, and the mass market, it works for them. I think that's where the conflict is. So
Yeah.
So really, we need either the mass market to wise up, or we need G-Pen to produce something better.
Ariana, Indica Wife, she goes by on YouTube and Instagram. We talked to her, and I remember because she had a dab with the Connect on her Instagram, like oh, she got to LA and a couple of weed tubers picked her up. I forget who they were. But they picked her up at the airport, and she had a dab in the car with the Connect, and I'm like, and I remember we talked about that. I called her out. I asked her, and she was almost like not offended, but she had a really good explanation about that. She was like when I'm at home, I want to dab and have like the best dab experience, but when I'm on the go, I just want to get high, and I don't care. So the Connect, yeah, like it's better than a cart. Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's different expectations, different needs, different wants, and that's where the enthusiast crowd kind of stands alone. And so we yell loudly when there's marketing that says a vape's good and it's not, to try to warn the mass market. So we need to do the same when it's the other way around. Here's an opportunity as we play with this Elite 2 to see that here's a product that I'll bet you nobody in the enthusiast space would have given a chance. I didn't even know it had released, never heard of it when you told me about it. Like, you had it and I was like, what are you talking about? And then I wasn't interested in it until you told me, no, we really got to check it out.
When they reached out, for one, I was surprised because we have a history, and I know the people from G-Pen. I've talked to them. You've been there at the conferences, Jerry, mm-hmm. when I've approached the G-Pen people and been not treated the way I would like to be treated. In a friendly way, that's all I'm asking. But anyway, I was surprised that they reached out and were like, hey, we're offering to send me this vape to check out, like when they were like looking for my opinion on it. So I was like, okay, well shit, well I wanted to reject it at first because it's a G-Pen, but that wouldn't be doing my job. I feel that I've built my brand on representing vapes to the vape market and trying to be objective about it and bringing updated and honest information as well as insight from using all these apparatuses continually.
Continually being the key word there.
To do my job, I had to check this vape out, and so far it's been very surprising.
What's up, Troy? Happy Friday, Jerry. Good to see you, man. Whew. Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too.